Hello, my name is Esteban Osuna, and this is the EpiNotator capstone. The team members are Esteban Osuna, Trent Peterson, Arthur Rogers, and Long Hao Zhao. Our sponsor for this capstone project is Robert Yao of EpiFinder. The instructor for this course is Hassan Davulku.
Alright, let me provide some general information of our project. Before I introduce our project, I would like to share some background of it. Our sponsor, EpiFinder, is designing a mobile application of an epilepsy diagnosis tool, and they are currently using an application called Prodigies to create medical ontologies, and it has an outdated open source plugin called Notator, which is used to annotate medical documents by using ontologies created by Prodigy. However, Prodigy has a shortcoming that is quite complicated and not very user-friendly. Which means EpiFinder needs another more efficient annotation tool. And now we are giving a text to implement a web-based object-oriented version of a notator. We call it EpiNotator. At first, we are giving an old version of EpiNotator, which last capstone team generated, but it is full with bugs, and the programming language they used was Java. But by using Java, some important feature is quite hard to achieve. So we are going to use another programming language, which is JavaScript. More specifically, is React library, and we will talk about it more in detail later.
Hi, I'm Arthur Rogers, and I'm going to be discussing some of the tools and technologies that we used during this project. The most important technology that we used was React.js. React is a JavaScript library that is mainly used for building user interfaces for web applications. It is generally used to improve the speed and simplicity of a web page, and is typically used in creating single-page applications, like the one we created in this project. One of the reasons that we chose to use React was to improve the response time of the web page. React has a feature called Virtual Document Object Model. Instead of reloading every object on the page when it is refreshed, React creates an in-memory data structure which it can use to compute the difference between the currently loaded page and the new page after the requested changes, thus only loading the objects that have changed. This feature is especially useful when in web apps that require frequent user interaction like this one. Another reason why we chose to use React is because it is simple to work with and learn. We knew that this project was going to be extended by future capstone teams after us, so we wanted to pick a technology that was easy to learn even for those who had no previous experience in web development like us. React is simple because it separates pieces of the UI into classes called components, which can be reused. This process would be easy to understand for teams who are familiar with object-oriented programming. Typically, React is used with another technology called Redux. Redux is a JavaScript library that is used for managing the state of the web application. The reason why Redux is frequently used with React is because of the way React handles the application state. In React, components can only access the state of their parent components. This can make designing a React app very tedious. Redux stores the application state in such a way so that all the components can access it regardless of the relation to one another. Redux is also required for designing the undo and redo functionality. In order to implement these features, the application needs to store a log of edits. In order to do so, Redux is necessary. For building the overall application, we decided to use the Spring framework. Spring is a framework built for the Java platform that has a large number of features. We mainly used it for its data access features. Spring simplifies the process of accessing a database with Java. In this case, we used MongoDB to store our ontologies and annotation documents, and used Spring to access them. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the major decisions we made during the course of this project. When we first received the source code written by the previous team who had worked on this project, our sponsor asked us to look at the code and determine what parts of it were usable and which parts weren't. After Discussing our options with a member of the previous team, we decided it would be best if we scrapped the existing front-end code. We found the JavaScript files and HTML files that were pretty disorganized and had a lot of bugs. For example, when a user who was highlighting text would accidentally highlight outside the text field, it would highlight the entire text. We decided that fixing this current code would be much more difficult than rewriting it ourselves. Even though we chose to scrap the front-end code, we did decide that it would be best if we kept the back-end Java code. We found that the back-end code was much easier to understand and didn't have any bugs that we could find.
Hi, my name is Trent Peterson. Our results are as follows. We created a framework for the user interface, which involved implementing the React.js library, and within this library creating panels for the ontology, the navigation bar, the text to annotate, and the annotation information. It was important to make this framework the UI because React.js and Redux.js are both very important frameworks for the application moving forward. We only had time to implement the React.js library, but it's very important in the future. We also integrated a MongoDB backend so that the application could run on a server. This is important because the application needs to be web-based. We also utilized a Spring framework for development as our IDE. We did this so that it allowed for modularity and it was simple to use with our server, so it made sense for launching the application. The application as of now looks something like this. It has a nav bar at the top containing file and edit menus so you can insert text or import an ontology. On the left is the ontology listed as a tree. In the middle blank space is where text would go for annotating. And on the right is all the information for annotating, which includes the annotation class, the annotator's name, the date of creation of the annotation, and any comments the annotator might have, as well as buttons for creating that annotation or deleting it. Thank you.
The Capstone team learned many lessons throughout the course of the Capstone project. One more practical lesson the team learned was how to use many new tools and technologies. These include the JavaScript libraries React and Redux, and overall, the JavaScript language. As we have seen, most of the project was developed inside React components, which are written in JavaScript. The team had to learn the JavaScript language in order to complete this project. Having the knowledge of an additional programming language is always good when looking for jobs, and it allows the team to be able to apply for more types of jobs. The Capstone project also reinforced the importance of working as a team and how good communication can help overcome challenges that naturally arise in a project like this. Some situations require different members of the team to communicate with different members of Epicfinder and previous Capstone groups, so we quickly learned that having everybody on the same page through a clear line of communication was pivotal for the success of the project. These lessons will surely help in future employment, as most jobs in the tech industry involve group work, so this Capstone was a very good experience for this team to have. Hopefully, the lessons we learned from this Capstone project will help us stand out to future employers. In conclusion, this Capstone forced the team to communicate effectively, make efficient use of time, pay attention to deadlines put in place by supervisors, and work as a team to complete deliverables. The team was really forced to become a coherent unit and work at a professional level. In the end, the team managed to create the groundwork for a very innovative and interesting application. This Capstone was a very enriching experience for the whole team. The project gave us experience with the type of work and environment that is typically in the tech industry. Thank you to both our sponsors and our instructors for giving us this opportunity to work on this capstone project. Thank you.